All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Write On Awards celebration. We are super excited to be able to gather here all together today to celebrate all of our young writers. We know that the Washtenaw Elementary Science Olympiad is today as well. So thank you so much for being here in person today. We know it wasn't easy for a lot of our families to get here. And if you are currently at the Science Olympiad, we hope you're having an awesome time, and just know that we are celebrating you today as well. A little bit about our contest before we get started here. This is the breakdown of all of the participants this year. As you can see, most of our participants were from Ann Arbor, but we also had folks joining us from other parts of Michigan, including Ypsilanti, Bloomfield, Plymouth, Dexter, Northville, and Wixom. And we also had writers joining us from out of state, particularly from Chicago, Illinois, and Las Vegas, Nevada. We also want to recognize that there were two classes where many of the students joined us this year. So a little shout out to Karen Gerhardt's 5th grade class from Lawton and Erica Noel's 3rd and 4th graders from Summers Knoll. It was super fun to see large groups participating this year. We also want to take a moment to thank all of our contest judges for their time and effort this year. And we want to thank all of our contest writers, their families, and educators. Without you, this contest would not be possible. Now, I want to introduce you to our special guest speaker today. Her name is Kyung-hee Kim. She is a former educator, a poet, and the author of See Us Bloom, an inspiring and comforting collection of poems that take kids on a journey to discover their own identities, find inner strength, and learn to love themselves and one another. So we are super excited to have her here today. Please join me in welcoming Kyung-hee Kim.
Hey, good afternoon, young writers. I'm so happy to be here today to talk a little bit about writing. So during this time, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am, why I wrote the book, what inspires me as a writer, and what can inspire you to continue to write. And I'll take questions at the end as well. Okay, so just like Allison introduced, my name is Kyung-hee Kim. I am Korean American. I was born in South Korea and moved here when I was 8 years old with my family. So part of my book is about moving to a new country and what that feels like and going through a lot of changes. I used to be a teacher, and so I mostly taught 1st grade through 4th grade for a really, really long time. And now I write books and help other people write stories as well. My hobbies include reading, writing, of course, right? Hiking, drinking tea, and eating Korean food. I believe anyone can be an author, and that's why I'm here today. And I believe everyone has a story to tell. So why I wrote See Us Bloom. So this book is a book of poems, and it's a story about a little boy who moves into a new place with his family. And because it's an experience that I experienced in my life, I wanted to write about it, share it, and in the end, really help other kids and families not feel alone and know that they're not the only ones going through such hard, difficult changes. And I also love books, and I feel like we can always use more books, right? So that's another reason for me to write this book. What inspires me? So I am so excited that there's so many young writers in this room, and I know every single one of you today, your stories came from something, right? Whether they came from an experience that you had, maybe it's made up, maybe you got your idea from a video game or a conversation with your brother or sister. Anything can be inspiration. My inspiration for this book and other writings that I do includes my family, and you see pictures of them. My mom and dad, I call them 엄마 and 아빠. That's Korean for mom and dad. And on the right side of you, that's my sister, brother-in-law, nephew, me, and that's New Year's time. We're making dumplings together. And down below is my nephew and my husband. They're baking. And the last picture below, that's my sister and I, and that's a picture when we were in Korea. So my family inspires me, my friends and memories I have with them inspire stories. Also, nature inspires me. So sometimes when I'm taking a walk and I notice the flowers blooming right away, I'm noticing, oh, it's springtime. That might give me an idea to write a poem. I might see a really cool bird on my walk, and that might inspire me. So nature inspires me to write. And obviously, books I read, sometimes movies inspire me, and conversations I have with other people. Okay, how to start and keep going. So I know none of you in here have any problems how to start because you're writers and you're writing, right? And sometimes when we finish a story, we may not know how to begin the next story, right? So here's just some advice from me. And if it's something that you want to give it a try, that's great. So the first one is you have to write about what you want to write about, right? So don't worry so much about what your friends are writing, what your brother or sister might be writing about, but you. What is interesting to you? Do you like stories that are scary, mysterious, funny, with lots of action, right? So start from what you enjoy writing about. And it can be real life. Like I like to write about real life things. Many people may like to write about make believe stories. You can also write short stories, comics, graphic novels, lots of choices. Okay? Try not to make changes in the beginning. So sometimes, I don't know about you, but when I am writing, I'm thinking so much about my spelling or how my writing looks or how it sounds that it kind of sometimes discourages me from continuing to write. But if I don't worry about that and I just focus on my idea in the story, it keeps me going. So keep going because you can always go back and edit. As writers, we know we have to edit our stories, right? And that can come later on. It doesn't have to be in the beginning. So continue writing a little at a time. So it might be helpful to have some sort of a writing schedule. So whether you write 10 minutes after school every day, or maybe you write on the weekends, or maybe you write a little bit before you go to school. So having some sort of a schedule really helps us with our writing. What if you have too many ideas? Okay, writers in the room, can you raise your hand if you have too many ideas and you don't know which one to pick? Oh, I see a couple of hands. Yes, adults too. Yes, me too. All right. Well, that's a good problem to have, right? But when you have too many ideas, sometimes what's helpful is maybe having a notebook, right? A notebook, or if you prefer typing, maybe somewhere on your laptop or computer, just write those ideas down for later. You don't want to forget it. But you also don't want it to distract you from what you're currently working on. So have an ideas book. I have one, and I have tons of ideas there, and I can always go back for my next story. Here's a cool one that I really love, having a writing buddy. So this can be a classmate, someone from school, maybe someone in your life who also really enjoys writing. But writing together can be very powerful and fun. So this could look like writing together. It can also look like writing separately, but maybe sharing your stories together afterwards and giving each other a little bit of feedback. But having some sort of writing buddy really makes writing fun and it keeps you accountable, which means it keeps you continue to write. Okay, here's one that is really important, and I know every single one of you have done it through this contest, but probably even at school, at home. Share your work. Now, it is really brave to share your work. So I hope every single writer in this room that you are so proud of yourself. Because to write something and to turn it into a contest or share with your friend, your teacher, your parents, it takes so much courage, right? Because you don't know what they're going to think, right? But sharing your work makes you braver. It makes you a better writer. and it makes you want to write more. And it's really important to do some things that are a little bit scary for us, right, in order to get better. And when you share your work, you get to also see who also enjoys writing and build a community like this. And my last advice for you would be read, read, and read, right? Reading really helps us to be better writers, right? Who's ever read a book where you just got so swooped away in the story, it just takes you to another world? Anyone? So many of us. Yes, I'm going to raise both of my hands here. Absolutely. And those are the best kind of books where you feel like you're watching a movie and you just cannot stop. And when we read stories like that, it helps us when we write as well. It gives us words that we can use, kind of phrasing that we can use in our stories. And it really makes us feel like, wow, one day I want to write like that as well. So that's another great tool. It's just reading a lot. And reading all kinds of books is very important too. All right, so I'm sure there are lots of other tips, but these are some of mine that have helped me as a writer and helps me to continue to keep on writing. And now, my favorite part, does anyone have any questions? Anything about, I see a hand, yes.
How do you feel when you write a story?
How do I feel? Oh my goodness. Thank you for that question. I feel really happy. And so even if I'm writing a sad story, I feel happy because it's a way for me to express my feelings with words, and writing is something that brings me a lot of happiness. So I feel really, really happy when I write. Thank you for that question. I saw another hand here, or no? Okay. Anyone else with questions? Okay. Yes. Okay.
I'm a grandma, and I'm trying to learn to write at my age, which I won't say. But you said that writing makes you feel braver. Can you talk about that, please?
I think in one way, I can kind of understand where you're coming from because I didn't really enjoy writing as a student like all of you. I really didn't. It was very hard. And I did not start writing until maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a new thing for me as well. So what I mean by brave is that I did it even though it's something that I haven't done in a really long time. And so for me, it's a reminder that it's never too late to try something new. And I think the whole communicating in words on a written page and sharing it with other people, that makes me really brave. Yeah. Thank you. Another question. Do you have a question? Okay, I'm going to come to you, okay?
Share something with everybody. That I want to grow up and be a writer.
Yeah, did you hear that, everyone? She wants to grow up and be a writer. Let's give her a round of applause. Oh my gosh, yes. And you will. That's amazing. Okay, another question over here.
How do you become a published author?
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay. There are several different ways to be a published author, and all of us, you're already taking the hardest step, which is writing, right? So first you have to write, have a story, any kind of story that, you like. And once you have a written, let's say, a picture book or a story, then there's several ways to get it published. You can find people who want to publish it for you, and your parents can probably help you with researching on who to contact. Libraries will have resources too that will help you. What do I do if I want to be an author and I want to have a published book? So there are lots of different ways, but kids definitely can. You can publish your book as well. Okay, the age is not a limit at all. It does take time, right? So for instance, with my book, I am not an artist, so I did not do the artwork in my book. It's really, really beautifully done. So I wrote the story, but someone else, Emily Peck, she did the illustration. She's the illustrator of this book. So when you have a picture book or a graphic novel, let's say, and you are not the illustrator, that also takes time, right? Because the illustrator has to read the book, illustrate your book, then talk with you as a writer to see what you think. And you can say, oh, I love it. Or, oh, I don't know so much. And they may make changes on that. So it's a process too. So it's something that takes time. You have to be patient, right? But when you do see it come to life, it's really, really cool. And you don't care if it takes a long time because it will get done. So there are ways. Thank you for that question. Anyone else? You have another question?
Why did you become an author?
Why? There's a story that I wanted to tell, and I wanted to tell a story of people who may be moving to a new country and they don't know the language, the culture, the food, everything is so different, and it's a scary time. And so because I think other people, other children and families could relate to it, I thought, you know what? If this is something that I went through, I'm pretty sure other people did too. And maybe other people can feel good and will feel hopeful reading the book. So I wanted to tell the story and help other people. So, thank you. Okay. Yes. Great question. Oh my goodness. I am so embarrassed to say that I do not write in Korean. No, I do not write in Korean. I can read and speak, and I am fluent in Korean, but I have not written books on it yet. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Also, last thing I want to say that, even though I wrote this book to help other people, there are many reasons people write books, right? Books can be just for you want to make people laugh. And that's an important thing, right? Making people laugh, right? You want to help people travel to a different world in your story. So any reasons are good reasons to write books because we always need books. Okay, these are really great questions. Thank you so much, writers, for these questions. And I think we are ready for the next thing. Thank you.
One thing I want to mention is there is a way that the library can help you get published if that is something that you're interested in. We have a publishing press here at the library called Fifth Avenue Press, and we have published quite a few books already. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, come see me after our celebration. I can tell you more about it. All right. So now it is time to announce the winners of the 2024 Write On Short Story Contest. First, second, and third place winners, their names and their stories will be published online at our website, aadl.org/writeon, and the winners will receive a Target gift card today. If you hear your name called, please come up to the front to accept your award. Elizabeth will give you your prize. After our celebration ends, if you would like to take a picture in front of your name up on the slide deck, we could do that. And if you are a winner who is watching from the live stream, I will email you on Monday so that we can figure out how to get your prize to you. So we will start with our third grade winners. In third place, we have Starlina by Ana Mendoza Valina. Congratulations. In second place, we have The Bunny Who Didn't Like Carrots by Anna Kwok. In first place, we have Gimli's Adventures, Book 1, Gimli's New Home by Nora McCall. Next, we have our fourth grade winners. In third place, we have Cat and Rat by Zinnia Overland. In second place, we have Under the Rug by Tej Parikh. And in first place, we have Take a Shot by Midge Keynes. And finally, we have our fifth grade winners. In third place, we have The Reunion by Caitlin Lee. In second place, we have The Mystery of the Stolen Milk by Hannah Rochlin. And in first place, we have If Sadness Had a Taste by Reese Trabue. Congratulations to all of our winners. And now it's time to celebrate. Thank you so much for participating in and supporting our Write On Short Story contest. We encourage you all to keep writing. Please look forward to next year's Write On contest for grades 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And writers from Michigan can look forward to our It's All Right teen writing contest, which is for grades 6 through 12. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.